providing information to small business and nonprofits on funding and grant opportunities. We've sent out a number of blasts, making direct communication with folks. Happy to provide assistance to any particular groups that ask me about or send me a note afterwards. I think we sent it to the chamber as well. So here to be as supportive as possible to the needs of the community as they come up. So thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Anyone here from Assembly Member Heath Flora's office? All right, so Mayor Zwellen, would you like to address the crowd here at all?
Sure, I'll just make a couple comments of things that we have coming up that we want to work on soon, and we will be having a hopefully soon a council development workshop to establish our roles and norms, considering we're a new council with 4 of us being new members. We are going to start working on hiring the city auditor or making a decision about who we are interested in or how to move forward, I would say, with that position. And then we have the American Rescue Plan stimulus money coming. So we will be working on how to best maximize the use of that money to make our city successful, as well as planning the budget. And then, as was in the news yesterday, we are working on a police accountability community input plan. So we have lots on our plate, but we're moving forward and we're optimistic about the future. And thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Councilmember Wright, do you have anything to add? You'd like to add? You're on mute there. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Couldn't find my button. I'm sorry.
Okay. You look like you shook your head no, like you don't have anything to add.
Nothing. Mayor
Okay.
said it all.
All right, great. Thomas, your last chance. Do you have anything to add for the city?
Yes, I have prepared a full presentation. No, John, I'm good. Thank you very much. I will defer to the mayor.
Well, it's been a pleasure working with you for all these years. So we will be sorry to see you go.
I appreciate that, John. That's nice of you.
All right, is anyone here from the county? I didn't see anybody. All right, Dana, MID.
Fantastic. We are getting ready to send out a bill insert. So any MID customers, look for this colorful bill insert that will talk about the financial assistance programs that we currently have available, and then our payment portal, since our downtown office is still closed due to COVID restrictions. And I think that's it.
All right, great. Thank you. I didn't see, is Stephen Qualls on the call? He wasn't earlier. I don't see him. Okay, then without any further ado, I don't see anyone else from AT&T or Comcast, so I will turn it over to you, Joe, to go ahead with your team and present on Camp to Home.
John Cecil is just jumping in if you want to let him introduce while Edgar gets his slideshow up. And Edgar, I believe you should be able to screen share now.
Great. Cecil, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
My name is Cecil and I work for John Belines.
Wow, that's the first time I've ever heard that. Thank you.
And now that Cecil's
gonna want some money too.
Yeah.
we could really get started now that Cecil's here, so we're excited. But anyway, thank you everyone for having us here today. We appreciate the opportunity to share with you some of the things that we're working on with respect to homelessness. Obviously, it's been a topic of conversation that we've been having between the city and county for a number of years now. And we just wanted to provide you an update on one specific area that we've been particularly focusing on. We know that homelessness continues to increase. The impact of the pandemic obviously is going to probably further put people into a situation where homelessness may be their only option. But we've been working on ways to reverse this trajectory. We need to acknowledge that there's not a one-size-fits-all solution for individuals who are facing homelessness, because each person is unique. Their backgrounds and their needs are very different from one another. While one person may need support for physical disabilities, another may need it for mental illness, or some may just need financial help to help sustain their household. We also have to acknowledge that there's some individuals that just don't want our help and may never accept our help because that's just a lifestyle that they choose. And historically, we've focused on housing and shelter as a way to get ourselves out of homelessness, but we've never focused on what the root causes are, why an individual has become homelessness to begin with. And without sufficient focus on sustainable employment to help sustain their housing, we may never get out of this crisis. So we've developed a program called Camp to Home to help illustrate a person's path to self-sufficiency. The team that we have, they've done a great job putting this together, and they'll provide more details in a minute. But I want to just mention this strategy because we're attacking this on five fronts as a whole. Expanding our ability to reach individuals experiencing homelessness by expanding our HEART team, which is our homeless engagement, assessment, and response team. Supporting our shelters with additional capacity and coordination with the county. Offering robust job training initiatives in partnership with regional nonprofits that provide case management to address those unique needs that I described earlier. Developing an employment pipeline in partnership with public and private stakeholders. This is the crux of what we're going to talk about today. And providing subsidized housing to individuals experiencing homelessness who enroll in the city's job training initiative. Our strategy meets people where they are. And from the moment we meet them, we help them get into shelter. We offer job training and help secure employment and housing. In other words, we're offering a road to self-sufficiency. We recognized very early on that housing and shelter capacity is a component of it, but we really needed to run these things in parallel. And while we're addressing our housing needs, we also had to find a way that we can get individuals unique employment opportunities so that they can sustain the housing that we're trying to afford to them. The county CEO and I say a lot, we're not in the business of warehousing people. We don't believe that just putting individuals in shelters and then turning away from them is the best solution. So how do we give them the tools they need to sustain themselves in the future? And that's what this program does. So I'm going to turn it over to Edgar or Jessica to start the presentation.
Thank you, Joe.
Just real briefly, I want to confirm that you all can see my screen. Perfect.
Yes, we can. So right here is a snapshot of the point in time count that was conducted countywide for the last 6 years. As you can see, the count over this period of time has continued to increase. And in our 2020 count, there was 1,592 of those homeless individuals who resided in Modesto. As part of the Ninth Circuit ruling, where it was ruled that everyone deserves a place to sleep, the city of Modesto ended up opening up Beard Brook Park to have the homeless encampments be able to camp in this part or essentially sleep. During this period of time, the camp continued to grow. And what we realized in partnership with Stanislaus County is this was a unique opportunity to really provide oversight, to receive data regarding the individuals and to help get them to that next step. So in order to provide additional oversight, we, in partnership with the county, opened up the Modesto Outdoor Emergency Shelter. As you can see, we actually had tents donated. There was 310 temporary tents, which during that period of time sheltered approximately 600 people. During that period of time as well, we were able to work in partnership with social service providers who were able to kind of gauge what the needs of our homeless community were and help determine kind of what those next steps for them would be as well. We had this open up until the point where we were able to open our low barrier shelter, which offered an additional 182 beds for the community. As Joe spoke about a little bit earlier, our previous efforts have been solely on shelter and housing. We've been able to increase our shelter capacity by 237 beds from September 2019 until today. And that is including the 182 beds from our low barrier shelter. We've been working really closely with the community accountability portion and with our law enforcement. And this was just to ensure that as we continue to outreach to homeless individuals, that they would have again, they'd be offered a shelter bed. If they chose to refuse that shelter bed and refuse to engage, we wanted to have that community accountability portion to be able to enforce the city ordinances. And lastly, and part of the things that we're going to speak about today is our program services and initiatives. The City of Modesto has partnered with Downtown Streets Team for the last 2 years. For those who are not familiar with the Downtown Streets Team, they offer job training for homeless individuals. And currently they're doing litter abatement within the City of Modesto. So as we talked about, the interim solutions that we implemented previously prompted us to think critically about the needs of our homeless community and the gaps in our current systems. A key gap we uncovered was not in how we provide shelter and housing, but how we continue to move individuals through the housing continuum to the road to self-sufficiency. As part of the CARES funding, the City of Modesto received a $3.3 million allocation to help combat homelessness. We challenged ourselves locally to come up with a creative solution and collaborate with public and private partnerships to address homelessness in our community. This led to us in developing Camp to Home, a comprehensive response to homelessness that includes moving an unsheltered individual out of homelessness through the system of self-sufficiency and into permanent housing. The first component is our outreach component. Through this component, we've been able to hire 6 additional part-time homeless engagement assessment and response team workers. The goal of these workers is to continue to reach out to the homeless community, understand what the barriers are of getting into housing, and really start connecting them to services and into that next step of sheltering. As we continue to outreach to our homeless community, we are hoping that they will continue to be willing to engage with us and move to that next step of sheltering. With this component, we are assisting with the low barrier shelter. The low barrier shelter is then setting aside 5 beds each evening to for our law enforcement or outreach workers to be able to place those who are ready to move to that next step and into shelter. The next part, and really the key part of our Camp to Home program, is the robust job training approach. We'll be partnering with Downtown Streets Team in order to create a comprehensive job training program for our Downtown Streets Team individuals. As I said previously, the Downtown Streets Team currently does litter abatement within the City of Modesto. In order to expand on their job training skills, we wanted to offer them different quarterly modules through different city departments. They'd be able to partner for a quarter with our forestry department, through Parks and Recreation, solid waste, and then our police department in doing extensive homeless outreach in our community. Downtown Streets Team has also developed a robust curriculum that will include training on topics like money management, resume development, interview workshops, and many more. Individuals move through this training program, and Downtown Streets Team will work alongside them, and individuals will graduate and be ready for full-time employment. This next component really highlights the need for the public-private partnership. As we spoke about in our previous slide, The robust job training is really going to get a homeless individual ready to engage in that next step and be ready for full-time employment. We're currently partnering with Opportunity Stanislaus, Stanislaus Community Foundation, Stanislaus Workforce Development, United Way, and many more. And the goal of this is for local businesses who have open positions for them to consider hiring our Downtown Streets team graduates. The City of Modesto recently had 4 open positions in our abatement program, and we're able to hire 4 Downtown Streets team graduates into that full-time employment. Essentially, the Downtown Streets team graduates who are now employed are still living in the shelter. So this next goal was to assist them in an employment-based rental assistance to have them find permanent housing. Downtown Streets team will partner with them in order to find the housing, then to assist them with security deposits and rental assistance for 1 year. Downtown Streets team is offering intensive case management for a year post-housing, and will also be offering case management for a year post-employment. So therefore, if a landlord or a local business has someone that they'd like to reach out to regarding one of our Downtown Streets team graduates, they have that contact.
Excuse me for just a moment. Can I ask who just joined us by phone?
Yes, Nick DeCousley, and I'm here on behalf of Manny Graywall's office.
Thank you. I didn't catch your last name, but I'm going to put your first name in if that's okay. Okay,
DeCousley, and it's tough to spell out, but I can if you need to.
No, it's fine. Thank you. Go ahead, Jessica.
Thanks, Trish. Edgar, can you go ahead and touch on our success stories?
Absolutely. Thanks, Jessica. So as Joe and Jessica just eloquently mentioned, we're working diligently with the Downtown Streets team to create a program that not only helps people really reach or graduate through these components, but really get on the road to self-sufficiency. And these are a couple examples of which that have moved from Beardbrook to Mose to the emergency shelter, and now they're housed and employed. On the left is Charles and Deanna, a couple who were homeless for about 3 years, found hope through the Downtown Streets team, obtained their vital documents such as their birth certificate, their social security cards, their driver's licenses, and were able to secure housing through the Downtown Streets team, and were actually employed recently as well. And on the right is Efren. Efren joined the Downtown Streets team after being homeless for about 22 years. He began working with case managers. He found hope through that initiative and was able to secure housing at the Kansas House. That was one of the initiatives that the city implemented to offer permanent supportive housing. Efren is also on the look for employment at this point, and so we're working diligently with him to help him secure employment. And I'd also like to add, since the Downtown Streets team launched in Modesto in January of 2019, they've helped over 20 individuals secure employment and over 35 individuals secure housing. With this new team, with this new curriculum and this new job training, we hope that our success will reach new milestones. And we acknowledge that we can't do this alone, as Joe mentioned earlier. This is a community-wide effort, as the homelessness issue is extremely complex. So we hope to have partners join us in hiring, housing, or donating. And I'll go through the details in just a moment. So similar to what the city of Modesto has done with hiring 4 graduates with the Downtown Streets, for Downtown Streets team graduates, we hope our community, our business community who have open positions, consider Downtown Streets team graduates as employees to help restart their lives and help them achieve success. So we are launching a Fair Chance Employer campaign to recognize employers who choose to hire individuals who are graduating from the Downtown Streets team. And I'd like to add that throughout the duration of their employment with the Downtown Streets team will actually provide case management and employer support in case there are any issues that arise throughout the duration of the employment. And moving along to housing, this is really an opportunity for our landlord community, if there is a unit available, that they consider a Downtown Streets team graduate to, again, help them graduate from homelessness or graduate from the shelter. Our goal this year is to help 25 individuals from our team secure housing in 2021. And lastly, our efforts to improve our fundraising and to help secure $450,000 to continue the program into 2022. You may contact myself or Jessica for additional information on that. But with that being said, I'd like to acknowledge and thank our partners in this effort, from the United Way to the Community Foundation to the Chamber of Commerce, of course, the Downtown Streets team, Opportunity Stanislaus, and many others. And with that, I'd like to stop sharing now and answer any questions that you may have. Any questions from the group?
Yeah, can you repeat the amount that you guys were trying to fundraise for 2021?
For 2022, our goal is to raise $450,000.
Okay, thank you.
This is Vanessa.
Vanessa, go ahead.
Are there any special or specific skills these individuals are trained in?
Yes. So as you know, and as Joe mentioned, each individual is unique, and very many of them had jobs previously and fell into hard times and landed in homelessness. So many of them have very specific skill sets. Others who have less skills are receiving training from our city departments. Jessica highlighted the four of them. They're working with our Public Works Department in solid waste and forestry. They're working with our police department, performing peer engagement, and working alongside our Parks and Recreation Department, receiving training from them as well. So if you'd like to speak specifically about a specific skill set, we also have some survey results on what specific skills each unique individual has, and I'm happy to cover that with you offline. Thank you, Vanessa.
Edgar, don't we refer some over to Volt Institute also?
So in our current team now, we actually have 2 who are taking the forklift driving classes over at MJC. We do have a partnership with Workforce Development, and they're applying for a separate grant so they can ensure that they have the case managers they need to get all of our Downtown Streets team members actually in all of the workforce development programs. Once that happens, we'd be able to absolutely connect them with Volt.
Any other questions?
I'll just
I
jump in
have a
and
question.
go ahead, John.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just curious, when, as far as your graduates, say you've got 5 or 10 people, do you do assessments? Do you find out what they want to do? Or is it kind of just whatever you need, you kind of, send them that way for training?
Jessica, you want to take that one?
Downtown Streets team work very closely with the individuals who are on their team. And so part of the initial portion is to really, what they do is they complete a VI SPDAT, which determines their vulnerabilities first, and then also meets with them to determine kind of what their goals are. Greg describes this so well, but I think that their first goal is it's ABC. So it's find a job, then get a better job, and then find the career. So they continue to work with them along that path in order to ensure we can make that
But
happen.
John, I'd like to add, the assessment includes not just what they're skilled in and what their background is in, it also includes where they'd like to work. And, we're working in this employment pipeline that we're trying to develop, we're trying to encourage employers to hop on board based on the jobs that they're interested in working in, and also based on their background. So that the employer pipeline makes sense and is as seamless as possible for the individuals who are graduating.
Yeah. No, that's good. I know at the mission here, we have relationships with employers as well, and it's easy to find some jobs for certain people, and but it's not necessarily what they're skilled for.
Right.
Sometimes it's harder to find someone a better job, than moving boxes or working in a warehouse. So, any other questions?
Trish, I think you had one.
And not a question so much. I wanted to share that we have been supporting this effort every opportunity we've had to allow them to come and share their message. They asked if we would host a webinar with them so that they would have an opportunity to share this on a broader spectrum in the community. And we will be doing that on April 27th at 11:30. So feel free to share that. You'll have an opportunity to hear all this again and maybe even a little bit broader elements to it. We will have that out in circulation soon to be shared and promoted, but I just want to let you all know that that's on the horizon.
Thanks so much, Trish. Yes, we're very excited about that webinar and expanding our reach with this initiative.
All right, any other questions or any other comments from the city presenters?
Not for me, John. Joe, do you have anything to add?
Well, just thank you for the opportunity. We appreciate this partnership and letting us take a few minutes of your meeting to come share some of the things that we're doing with homelessness. But we'll jump off and let you continue on with your meeting. But thanks again.
Hey,
Great.
Thank you,
Great
guys.
job, staff.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Let's go back to if Nick is still on the call. Nick, if this is your first time, we generally give reps and people from different government agencies the ability to give a report if they want. And so since you're representing Supervisor Grewal, is there anything you'd like to report or say on his behalf? And you're muted right now. I don't know if you can unmute.
He has to unmute himself. I believe it's *4 from a cell phone. There you go.
Okay. Sorry about that. Supervisor Graywall just had me step on. This is actually my second week on as a field representative for Graywall, so I'm still trying to get caught up with everything. But what I got to hear from the presenters about the Teams program you guys have going on, everything is looking well. So, and we will do everything that we can to support you guys. So thank you for having me on, and I'm still trying to get all caught up with everything. So thank you.
Great, and you're always welcome back. We wished everybody would have either attend or have people attend. So we definitely would like to invite you back. It's the third Friday of every month at 11:30, from 11:30 to 1. Typically, the first 15 to 20 minutes is the reports from all the elected officials and government agencies. So,
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Nick. Or someone. All right. Trish, go ahead. Is there anything you would like to announce or talk about for the chamber?
I think sharing our webinar was kind of first and foremost. We just did our annual awards presentations kind of secretly and privately Monday morning, and did each one individually. Those are now this afternoon. The last two will be shared. Citizen of the Year will be the very last one that pops up today. They're on our social media, Facebook and Instagram pages, and they will then follow onto LinkedIn. So I think all but two are up for all of those. And then Monday, they will start popping up with YouTube channels through our website and our blog section. So we've enjoyed doing that. Very new way to do it, but the honors were focused and well received and have gone very well. So we feel good about that. Outside of that, really, it's about watching our e-blasts and our website community and for calendars because we have a lot going on. Next, we will have our Women in Business network and our Rising Professionals network will both take place next week. Green Team was yesterday. April 1st, there will be another somewhat quiet and private ceremony out at Blue Diamond Growers, acknowledging them for their green certification. We have now formally certified, I believe, 7 businesses, and we have another dozen that are registered and in motion. And so if you are a business that would like to get your building certified or know of one that would be interested and is interested on sustainability, especially to help lower the cost of doing business, we would love to hear from them and get them registered on the platform. We have done a mix already from Blue Diamond Growers facility to a structural engineering office with just a couple of employees to Audi. We've done Pizzeria Halt, a restaurant. So it really is open to everybody and each has their own checklist. So not everyone's trying to conform to the same requirements because every environment's different. So we'll mix the things to talk about. If you'd like more information, let me know.
Great. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to talk about from their organization or announcements or their businesses? Anything? Cecil, go ahead. Oh, you're on mute, Cecil. Yep, still on mute.
Mute.
There
Can
we
you hear me?
go. Yep.
Okay. Tomorrow, the Kiwanis are having a drive-through Cioppino and crab feed at the Graffiti Museum on 9th Street. So you're all welcome to come. It's a fundraiser for them. So that's my announcement.
Great. Anyone else?
I guess
You could
one thing just
yeah.
came to mind. We do have staff back in the office again, Monday through Friday. That just started back about, I think we're in our 4th week right now of that. You'll find someone there pretty much 8:30 to 4 every day. There's a little bit before and after at times, but that's pretty consistent. The doors are technically locked, so just knock and someone would be happy to greet you. So we have quite a few collections of Progress Magazine. If people are normally used to walking in and grabbing them, come on by and ask for one of it each. We have a whole year's worth collected on our table. Outside of that, I hope everyone else has a good Friday. That's all for me.
Can I make a quick announcement? This is Kirsty from the State Theater. Come by this afternoon, 3:30 to 6:30 to get our popcorn. And also, as soon as we go back to the red tier, we will be definitely opening for private screenings. So you can bring your 10 favorite employees or family and watch what you'd like in the theater. And then we're evaluating our reopening plans. So we've got a lot of exciting things going on the next few at the State Theater.
That's exciting.
Hey, Kirsty,
to hear.
how much is that popcorn, Kirsty?
$7.50, and it's delicious with fresh, clarified, real butter.
Nice.
Yep.
Great.
So I just did numbers before I left. We've sold $59,000 worth of popcorn since April 10th.
Wow.
27,000 of that is donations. So our community is really supporting us. So we're really happy.
Awesome. So real quick, I'm just going to say for EDC in April, it's the first Wednesday in April via Zoom at 11:30 a.m. I believe the speaker is Dan Levitt from ACE to give us an update on the ACE train expansion and what's happening there. And then for GRC next month, Joe Lopez from the city will be back. He'll be talking about his kind of his priorities and obstacles, challenges, and opportunities for the city coming up this year, and kind of his vision and plan for that. And then in May, the mayor will be joining us to talk about the new job and her vision for the job and her vision for the city of Modesto and how her and the city council will accomplish that. And so we're looking forward to those speakers. At some point, we will have the new board supervisors will be invited to speak, and the new city council, including Dave, will be invited to speak. And but again, thank you guys all for coming. And I think that's all I have. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend. Spend your stimulus money.